Hey, I'm Benji.
I'm Jada.
And it's time to get wild in the Palm Beaches. So Jada, today we're at Cypress Creek South Natural Area. So up here in Jupiter, right next to Riverbend Park. And one of the reasons that we came here today is obviously to have an adventure on our bikes, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna do some biking, we're gonna do some hiking. So that's what we're doing today, is we're highlighting this system we call the Jaeger Wildways. We talk a lot about our county's natural areas, which are amazing, almost 32,000 acres in the county, spread all over. But the real gem is this connected public land system up here in the north end of the county. 160,000 acres of connected public lands, right? And so they're managed by the county, they're managed by the state, they're managed by all these different agencies. But we've constructed this trail system that we're gonna explore today that connects them all. So right here at Cypress Creek South, we can hop on our bikes and we could do a 25-mile round trip bike ride and never cross a road.
Wow,
so
that's really cool.
So we're gonna be biking from Cypress South, and we're gonna be going through Riverbend Park, and then we're gonna be hitting Loxahatchee Slough Natural Area, and then we're gonna be hiking a portion of the Ocean to Lake hiking trail. The Ocean to Lake hiking trail is part of the Florida Trail System, and it's about 60 miles, and you can hike all the way from Lake Okeechobee on the west end out to the beach.
Oh, wow.
And that hiking trail passes through this Jaeger Wildways conservation land system. So stick around, we'll see what wildlife we can see coming through Riverbend, meet a few birds, and hopefully have a good time, right?
Absolutely, let's go.
Let's get to pedaling. Check this out, we've got this little family of raccoons over here. But you can see, look at them with their hands. They're working in the mud, they're foraging around looking for little insects, invertebrates, crayfish, you know, all that natural food. But the raccoon is one of these kind of really cool stories, and it highlights how, you know, as much as we try to think sometimes that we're not part of nature, we absolutely are. So raccoons are one of these animals that are really closely associated with humans, and their population levels have actually exploded because of all the urban development. What do we leave a lot of?
Trash.
Trash, exactly. And so we actually, through our trash, provide raccoons with tons of food. So these are one of these animals that, you know, their population used to be much lower naturally, but because of all of the development that we have done, their populations have exploded around urban areas. But you can see how nimble they are with those little front paws. They're almost like hands. And that's why if you're a camper, you know that you've got to keep your food locked up tight, because these guys can get into coolers and pretty much everything that doesn't have a lock on it. What we got in front of us here, this is one of these birds that is just synonymous with, you know, the swamp and the marshes here in South Florida. A lot of people probably hear these around their neighborhoods more than they see them. They have this really dramatic call. So this limpkin right here, this is a bird of the marsh, the wetlands and the rivers. They're gonna use that really robust beak to eat things like different kinds of mollusks. You know, apple snails are one of their main food sources. This guy's out on the canal bank here, and we're in this section of trail that is between Riverbend Park and Loxahatchee Slough. But along these canal banks, there's plenty of forage food for this bird to take advantage of. So while normally you would see these kind of deep in the swamp, right here gives bikers and hikers a really unique opportunity to watch these birds and see them right up close out in the open.
What's that?
This is another one of these, you know, symbols of Florida. Everybody who comes to Florida has seen these enormous yellow grasshoppers. They're called lubber grasshoppers. But this is what they look like when they're in their juvenile phase. And they're all black with this either yellow or red stripe running down the center of them. So cool. He's getting a little feisty, Jada. What do you think? You want to hold him?
I don't think so.
Bugs aren't for everybody.
So we've done the bikes and now it's time to do the hike.
You got it. Let's go.
Whoa, what's that over there?
Oh, good eye, Jada. All right, so this is one of my favorites. We've been talking about like the icons of the swamp, and this is another one. This is a barred owl, okay? So barred owl, they're a little bit smaller than the great horned owls that also live here in Florida. This bird is, like all owls, silent in flight. Okay, so they've got these adaptations to their feathers, which makes them be able to fly completely silently. They're really famous birds of the forest, and you often hear them more than you see them. And they have a sound that it's supposed to go, "Who cooks for you?" And it goes, "Woo, woo, woo, woo." And so, again, these birds are just a symbol of the forest, of the bottomlands of the swamp. We're right here in this beautiful oak hammock with these ancient oaks around, and this is just perfect habitat for this barred owl. So it's no surprise that, you know, we saw one today, but they are so hard to find. So that's an awesome eye.
Yeah.
Good catch. Barred owl, amazing,
Nice.
amazing animal. I will take tips whenever you want for clearing out all the spider webs.
You hugging trees again, Benji?
This one deserves a hug, right? This is one of my favorite trees in the Palm Beaches. This is a slash pine. This tree is probably over 300 years old.
Wow.
So for hundreds and hundreds of years, this tree has been, you know, shepherding this tree island that we're in the middle of the Loxahatchee Slough. Such an incredible example. You can see how big it gets around the base and how thick this bark is. That's this tree's defense against fire. So this tree has evolved to really survive and thrive with fire. And so it can take almost as much fire as you can put at it. It can even have maybe 80% of its needles scorched and still come back and survive. So
Wow.
what an awesome tree.
Resilient.
So much history standing right here. Amazing.
All right, Benji, so we biked, we hiked, there was sun, there was rain.
Full day in Florida, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, what an amazing time out here. Starting in Cypress Creek South, biking through Riverbend Park into the heart of Loxahatchee Slough, getting to hike a section of the Ocean to Lake hiking trail. You know, I mean, that's what makes our area so incredible, is it's so easy to get really wild really fast. So we did about 10 miles on the bikes, couple miles on the trail. How many roads did we cross?
Not one.
Not one road. So that's what makes this Yago Wildways trail system so amazing. 160,000 acres of public lands. Really what we have, it's like a national park, from alligators to limpkins to barred owls. And then on our way back, just cruising in here to Cypress Creek, we see a great horned owl sitting in a nest. And all of that, being able to experience all of that in a half a day, is just what makes the Palm Beaches so special.
Absolutely.